Well, think about God's great design for this reason. One of the things that happens when you're pregnant, so whenever cells rapidly multiply, like the breast does getting bigger when you get pregnant, you have to quickly copy all that DNA so that you can have a copy of the DNA in the cell and then split the cell and have two cells. That's how you grow. And so you're copying what's like a book really, really fast. So you know you're going to make a mistake. So the more rapidly you proliferate, the higher your risk of making a mutation. And if that the mutations build up or you make a critical mutation is one that gives you cancer just from the get-go. It's like leaving the word not out of a sentence. It completely changes the whole meaning of that sentence. Mm-hmm. So what happens is that's a dangerous part. And you would think that women would get more breast cancer, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they actually don't. They actually, for every birth, they lower their risk another 10%.
Wow.
So why is that? Well, it's because the embryo, the fetus, is also producing a protein called inhibin. And inhibin is a cancer suppressor. It helps you fix any mutations that you have. So that's an example how fearfully and wonderfully you're made. At the time that you're most vulnerable, the fetus is making it so that it's lowering your risk of getting breast cancer. And what's really interesting is, HCG also made by the fetus, right? It's not made by the mother. When they're using HCG to inject into breast cancers that have been biopsied and proven breast cancers, and the breast cancers regress. That was more research that was being done by the Russos when they passed on. So it's really interesting.
That's fascinating, yeah. And
it is, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. And then can you speak a little bit to how contraceptives and birth control affect breast cancer and development, especially in young girls, but in anybody who uses it?
Well, so when's the worst time to take hormonal contraception?
I'm guessing in young girls, right?
Right, because their breasts are already growing. Mm-hmm. So you may or may not know this, but hormonal contraceptives have been classified as group 1 carcinogens, meaning they absolutely cause breast, cervical, and liver cancers in humans, by the World Health Organization's International Agency on Research of Cancer. So if you Google IARC monograph 91, you'll go to a site where you can actually download that and get all the data showing that it's a carcinogen. Okay. So there are 2 mechanisms biologically that make it carcinogenic in humans for breast. One is that it causes your breast cells to proliferate. So you know how 7 to 10 days before your periods, your breasts start to hurt you? Mm-hmm. Well, that's because after you ovulate, you make a corpus luteum in the ovary, and it produces progesterone. So now you have estrogen and progesterone around. You need both of them together to make your breast cells proliferate. So we just spoke about proliferation. You have to copy a bunch of DNA real fast. And you can make a mutation, and those mutations build up, or you make a critical mutation and you have cancer. That's one way. The other way is that the estrogen is a ringed organic molecule that's got, you know, six sided rings that are kind of lapped together. And there's 21 carbons. If you metabolize at the fourth carbon, you produce a genotoxin, 4-hydroxycatechol quinone. And we know that there are purine bases in DNA, and the purines make the rung of the ladder. It actually pulls purine bases out of DNA chains. So it's a direct carcinogen. And that's why the National Toxicology Advisory Panel, which is part of our federal government, listed estrogen on its list of carcinogens the same at the same time they listed, wood dust giving you nasopharyngeal cancers.